Hey guys, and welcome to Comic Talk. This is the Cube. So today I'm going to be reviewing Superman's Action Comics 957. For those of you who haven't been keeping up with it, in the past few issues we've seen Lois basically return to her old life at the Daily Planet. And for those of you who don't know, this Lois isn't the original Lois of this universe. What happens is Superman, Lois, and John came from their universe that was dying, and Superman did it to save his own son and his wife. And they all come together to this universe, and what happens is the Lois and the Superman of this universe die, so Superman and Lois decide to fill in their gaps and take their places. And what ends up happening is Lois has now a direct meeting and interview with Lex Luthor, and she begins to question why Lex is wearing a super suit bearing this S of Superman on his chest. And what Lex goes to explain basically is that Lex believes that Superman's symbol is a symbol of peace to some degree, and that if there's a Superman to defend Earth, it should be a man from Earth and not a Kryptonian. So Lex builds his own suit in the fires of Apocalypse and brings it back to Earth to defend Earth with its powers. What they don't realize though is during this conversation they are being watched and are suddenly attacked by two characters we meet at the end of the last comic who don't give their names. They supposedly have visions of the future, and they see that Earth is utterly destroyed, or at least taken over by someone who bears the S Superman on their chest. It suddenly cuts to John and Superman, if you guys haven't been keeping up with them either, are traveling this forbidden island, who they seem to have teleported there by John's contraption that he built in one of the last issues. And while they're there, they're exploring, and they find all these remnants of buildings and things that have transcended time basically to end up on this island. But what suddenly happens is when Lex is attacked, the Clark from this universe, who is not a Superman but just regular old Clark Kent, uses his wristwatch to summon Superman to save Lois, while Lex begins to fight, and the men who believe that Lex is the one that's going to bring war and destruction to Earth. So the first character who attacks Lex is named Godslayer, and he reveals to us, the readers, that Lex is actually going to become the next Darkseid, or he's going to replace Darkseid on the throne. And he has a mother box that says Lex, and it repeats Lex, 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 Lex. So Godslayer decides that he must kill Lex Luthor to stop him from taking over. This issue was pretty good. I really like the art for it. I must admit that the fighting and the leaking of power almost that comes off, that radiates off these guys that are fighting Lex, and the way the energy kind of riffs off Lex's suit really gives them the sense of this suit isn't like the original one he used to have, the big dumb green one. It's more refined. It's got like a better sense to it, and it's got like a more refined style, even though it's kind of just ripping off Superman. You can see Lex's kind of obsession with Superman taking over him as he builds a suit, literally replicating almost the exact proportions and kind of design that Superman has. So I really enjoyed it. I really think that you guys should pick it up for the art. The writing is pretty decent. We find Lex's motivation pretty interesting, considering it's kind of never really changed. It still believes that a man should defend Earth and not an alien, and now he's taking it to the next level. So I really enjoyed this comic, guys. I really think you guys should pick it up, take a look at it. This has been the Cube, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.